Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Wayne Rooney has given a scathing assessment of Manchester United under Ruben Amorim after their 4-3 defeat by Brentford on Sunday. Amorim picked an inexperienced team to face the Bees and saw his side beaten for the 16th time in the Premier League this season. Brentford raced into a 4-1 lead before United scored 2 late goals to close the gap. But it was ultimately another disappointing day for Amorim and his players. They have now gone 6 league games without a win and sit 15th in the Premier League table. With Thursday's Europa League semi-final second leg against Athletic Bilbao the clear priority, Amorim named the third youngest Premier League starting 18th of any club. Youngsters Chido Obi Martin, Harry Amas and Tyler Fredrickson were all handed opportunities but did not impress. However, United legend Rooney was more critical of Amorim and the more experienced players who were out there. Speaking on Match of the Day too, he called out Kobbie Mainoo for switching off for 2 of Brentford's goals, and Amorim for fielding substitute Amad Diallo out of position at right wing-back, and for putting a disjointed team together, which put no pressure on the ball and lacked intensity. Expanding on Rooney's points, ex-Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy said, "It is about intensity, but with wing-backs, different to a back 4, it allows you to go and press, because you've got the extra centre-half behind you. But surely that's what they do in training, no? If you're a coach of a system, the basics of this system with wing-backs is they press the wide men quick, and it doesn't look like they're doing it. It's bizarre for me to see." Rooney replied, "It's strange, because that's why you play a back 5 with wing-backs. They have to put pressure on the ball, or otherwise you get outnumbered in the midfield, and the ball comes back into midfield. It was strange, but they had a lot of young players. There was a lack of movement and a lack of know-how on the pitch," he added. "They've got a 17-year-old lad up front, the youngest ever, to start up front for United, and they're just launching balls up to him. I really felt for Obi today, because you can tell he's inexperienced, but it looked like he had no help. They were just throwing balls up to him." Murphy added, "I get that there's young players, I understand that, and they're playing against good teams. But Amorim only plays one system. He's not mixing things up, personnel and system. And he's been there a while now. When you play a system that much and you work on it in training, surely we can see more improvement, irrelevant of who is playing, because they should be organised in that system." Rooney responded, "You'd think so, but I think the second team are playing a back 4, which I found strange, because those players who are coming into the first team now with the under-23s or under-21s are playing a different system. For me, that's a bit confusing. Getting to the Europa League final is papering over a lot of cracks for Manchester United, and that needs solving quickly." Manchester United will head into the biggest week of their season off the back of a 4-3 loss away at Brentford as Ruben Amorim's side battle to secure a spot in the Europa League final. The Red Devils welcome Bilbao to Old Trafford with a healthy 3-0 advantage after thrashing their opponents in the first leg. And while their defeat to Brentford means United can no longer finish in the top half of the Premier League, victory in Europe would hand them a golden ticket to next year's Champions League. Securing Champions League football would give United's coffers a welcome boost and would almost certainly give them a far greater licence to rebuild the squad Amorim inherited from Erik Ten Hag in the upcoming summer transfer window. With plenty of transfer rumours already swirling, United Report brings you all the latest news and gossip from Old Trafford. Manchester United want to pair Matheus Cunha up with Bryan Mbeumo as part of a new look-attacking unit, it has been claimed. The Red Devils have been in talks over a deal to sign Cunha for weeks, and Mbeumo has now emerged as a target following another remarkable season in Brentford colours. The Telegraph claim that United want to sign Mbeumo this summer, though it's unlikely they will be alone in their pursuit of the Cameroon star. Mbeumo is said to be valued in excess of £60 million, while Cunha has a £62.5 million release clause written into his contract. Real Betis may have made no secret of their desire to sign Antony on a permanent basis, but the Brazilian is also said to be attracting interest from Atletico Madrid. The winger, 25, has flourished in La Liga after joining Betis on loan in January and looks a completely different player to the one who has struggled at United. Betis are unlikely to be able to afford to finance a permanent deal for the former Ajax man, however. And not only are Atletico keeping a close eye on the situation, they have already inquired about a potential summer deal, according to reports in Spain. Mason Greenwood is thought to be keen on a return to the Premier League this summer, and that could see Manchester United profit from any potential move. The Sun have reported that the novelty of playing abroad has worn off for Greenwood, who spent time on loan with Getafe last season before joining Marseille permanently in the summer. And a string of clubs are said to be interested in bringing him back to England. Manchester United are looking to bring in former Chelsea chief Jim Fraser, who was renowned for his talent spotting, as they plot their summer of recruitment. The coming months will be crucial if the club are to make Ruben Amorim's spell a success. Fraser was at Stamford Bridge for 20 years before he was shown the door, but with his gardening leave coming to a close, he can now pursue a new role should the Manchester outfit come calling. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has identified Fraser as a key recruit with the Ineos chief, keen to see the club benefit from homegrown talent rather than solely pursue big money signings, reports The Sun. The club have spent millions in the market, but many of them have failed to live up to expectations. King was Chelsea's academy chief and enjoys a stellar reputation for unearthing top young stars. During his time at the Cobham base, he was able to spot the likes of Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Reece James, Tammy Abraham and Mark Guehi. United are in the midst of cutting about 200 jobs, which includes ridding of several scouts as they shake up the way they go about identifying talent. The Red Devils have a long tradition of using their academy. King was Chelsea's academy chief and enjoys a stellar reputation for unearthing top young stars. During his time at the Cobham base, he was able to spot the likes of Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Reece James, Tammy Abraham and Mark Guehi. United are in the midst of cutting about 200 jobs, which includes ridding of several scouts, as King was Chelsea's academy chief and enjoys a stellar reputation for unearthing top young stars. During his time at the Cobham base, he was able to spot the likes of Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Reece James, Tammy Abraham and Mark Guehi. United are in the midst of cutting about 200 jobs, which includes ridding of several scouts, as they shake up the way they go about identifying talent. The Red Devils have a long tradition of using their academy. Up the way they go about identifying talent. The Red Devils have a long tradition of using their academy. Kobbie Mainoo has been the biggest recent success story, and he's become a mainstay in the first team picture. The likes of Harry Maguire have also been given opportunities, with the club potentially having to make a greater use of their academy should their funds be limited. United's overhaul has seen leading figures like Director of Football Operations David Harrison leaving his role. Earlier this season, Dan Ashworth was shown the door after just a matter of months, with his switch from Newcastle not working out despite him impressing in previous job. Ratcliffe has overseen one summer of recruitment since coming in, but a host of those signings have not worked out. The likes of Joshua Zirkzee and Matthijs de Ligt have not had the desired affect, with the club poised to post their worst ever Premier League finish. AMORIM has made it clear that he wants to bring in players who suit his system, not necessarily the headline names. He said, "I want to focus on our strengths and try to use our club to bring in one or two players, big players. When I say big players, it's not players from Real Madrid, it's big players in the way I see the game."